Hey, welcome back, folks. So we're going to now proceed with the upgrades on this 5150 here. To do that, I'm just going to start removing the devices that I don't need anymore, like this. I'm going to remove this one and put the GoTech in there. Let's start by removing the video card here, this old color graphics adapter. That's a nice old card. And let's temporarily pull this out. Disconnect this drive over here. That'll give you a better view of what I'm doing over here with the drive. So disconnected the data cables. Put these screws where I can find them again. I'll push this forward a little bit so I can get the power cable properly here. Remove it. And there we go. Put that aside too as a spare. And we'll just assemble the GoTech into this carrier here. Everything lines up properly. No real indication of which way it should go on. I'm assuming it would go on this way. Could be a bad assumption. We'll find out. And I've got this power cable. I made this up myself. It's just it did have a different kind of connector on the end here, but I just put on a little Molex connector just to fit on here. And make sure we get this on. There's 5 volts going that way. So we put it on positive over there. And then pop this down in here. And hook up the power cable thusly. Let me screw this into place and put a couple of screws in to hold it into place. Now this plate here, I'm not sure if that'll fit. It's got a little ugly mark on it, but let's see if it even kind of works. Okay, so I just used a hacksaw blade to put some little grooves in here. See if that helps. Oh yeah, that actually snaps in quite nicely there now. Good. Good. All right. Now, you can attach the data cable on here. Now we have to configure these switches back here. I'll be able to pull the case ahead and let you see those switches. Okay, here are the 2 switch banks here. Right here and here. This one configures the BIOS for a number of things, including the video card, the number of drives, and which of these banks of memory over here that you have filled up. And this one here configures it for the total amount of memory. Now I went on to -0 degrees, and that guy who runs that site, he's got all the information we need right there. So for us, what we need switch 1 off, switch 2 on, because we have more than one floppy drive, or one or more floppy drives. We do not have a math coprocessor. Now we have all banks populated, so we need switch 3 and 4 off. And video card type, right now it should be switch 5 off and switch 6 on, because we had a color graphics card in there at 40 columns. But we need to change it to switch 5 on and switch 6 on because we're putting in a VGA card, so it's got its own BIOS, and the internal BIOS doesn't have to deal with it. And floppy drive count, we're going to have 2 floppy drives, so that it should be right now in 7 off and 8 on. We'll check that, but that's how we have to have it configured. And then on switch 2, it should be configured now at 10011. These ones doesn't matter, and we need to configure it as 1011 because we're going to have a full 64K of memory once we put the memory card in. So let's check on those switches right now. So for switch 1, we needed that. It's got to be off, on, off. That's all correct. Now this is where we need both 5 and 6 to be turned on. So we'll turn 5 on, 6 is on, and then 7 we need off and 8 on, and that's the way it is. Good. So that should be that switch done. Yeah, the next switch, let's just verify that it is at 10011. It's 10011, it is, and we need to change it to 1011. So 1011. And then switch 5 off. Get it in that way. All right. 10110, 10110. Okay, so we should be configured. So let's now this card here. I had to change a couple of little things on it, and I found I'll put a link down below to the website. I found information on this card. Basically, all I had to do is I had to switch this jumper here to say it was an 8-bit bus and a 16-bit bus, and that was it. I just verified also that this was on pins 2 and 3, which means it's a analog VGA, and then over here, this pin here, this switch here needed to be turned on. Now down is on for these things, I believe. This needs to be turned on because again it's an 8-bit bus. If that doesn't work, I'll put it back the other way, the way it came, and see if that works. But let's pop it in right now. I'll pop it in where video cards normally go, over here. I don't know if that'll make any difference. Yeah, this card here, I was told by the guy who sold it to me just to leave it the way it is. But I mean, this dip switch here changes the address, and this changes the ROM configuration. Now, I haven't really looked into either of those, but there is something we need to do to this. Apparently, it comes with certain mode disabled. It's not in full mode, and we need to run a little utility to put into full mode if you want the full benefit of running DOS5 and some of its utilities. So we'll do that when we get there, but I'll need a slot where this can stick out the back, so I need to remove one of these, and I think I'll just go for this one. Leave the screw right where it was so we don't lose it. And the memory card here, we just have to configure these switches here to reflect the amount of memory that we have already in the board. So we already have 256, so we need to turn these off up to here, and the rest should be left on. And again, I'm just going to leave this exactly at the address that it's at, and I'm not enabling the UMB RAM at all. So, and this it also needs to be put in with this direction here towards the back of the PC. So you have to be careful with that. Otherwise you'll blow it up. Now, that's all put in. Let's put the disk controller back in. And we've got everything set up the way we want it. Then, so we're going to hook up the monitor here, the VGA card, and I think we're ready to give this a shot. Let me relocate the camera so that we have a good shot of the monitor. 1 second. Let's go. Now I fully expect it to take a heck of a lot longer to boot up because it's got to count so much more memory. Okay, the VGA card is recognized. That's good. And now it's going to count memory. So I'll meet you back at the end because this could take a while. Okay, you should be going here. Right, so recognize I have a card in there. Okay, so in order to get our MS-DOS, we got to go over to winworldpc.com and go into library, pick MS-DOS, and we want version 5 here. And these are all the different distributions that they have loaded up here. So what I've done is I've downloaded this one, which is a 3 disk version. And I've downloaded this one as single disk version. I don't know if the IBM PC downstairs is going to be able to deal with a 1.44 megabyte floppy, but maybe the GoTech just hides all that from it. And I'm hoping that this one will work. But I'll load both of them up onto the USB stick, and we can try this one first, and if that one doesn't work, we'll try this one. Anyway. Let's see where I have those right now. Okay, so here we have this one here. So let's take this one now. We have to rename this. So let's copy it. Copy, and we'll bring it over to. We're going to put it on here. Now it's got to have this kind of naming convention. So it needs to start off at DSK A, and then a number, and then something after that that identifies it. So let's copy it here first. And we'll rename it. And I guess we're going to make this number 1. We'll call it DOS 5 single disk version. Okay. Now let's go back over here and get the 3-disk version. 3-disk versions there. So we'll take all of these. Put them in here. And rename them as well. So we'll start with this one. Okay, so we've got all those renamed. Now, I also went over here to get the latest version of the BIOS for the XT IDE card. So I downloaded R625 here, and I downloaded the program to install it. So if you go in here, you can see what you need is idxt.bin and xtidecfg.com. So we have those both right here. Okay, so here I've got WinImage open. I've opened this particular image here, which I'm going to put in the xtide files. So we'll go into File, Image, Inject. And then we'll go into that folder, select these 2 files, and now they should be in here. Yep. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, we've got those in the image where they belong. I'm just going to take this whole lot of data, all these images here. I'm just going to copy them over to the USB stick.
So first we're going to update the BIOS on that XT IDE, and then we're going to try and install DOS 5. So we'll either be able to do it using the 1.4 single disk, or we'll have to use the 3 separate disks. It doesn't matter. We'll try the single disk first. All right, so let's get this ejected, and we'll head on downstairs back to the machine.
Okay, we're going to boot into DOS 3.2 here on the floppy. And the first thing I'm going to do is go over to drive B to see if we can use that single drive image of DOS 5. And let me bring that one up here. Single disk version. I have to do a DIR on it, see if it. Yeah, not looking good. Now this old machine doesn't know what to do with a 1.44 megabyte disk. Okay, so let's switch over to the XT IDE. There we go. So now let's configure that card. XT IDE CFG. And load BIOS. There it is. Okay. Now we want to configure this BIOS. So we want to enable full. I don't know why they don't like sending it that way. I guess it uses up a kilobyte of RAM. That's fine. So I also want to go over the primary controller and disable detection of the second card, because this version of the controller can't use a second card anyway, so there's no point in looking for it. And yeah, so that looks like all we need to do, and let's flash it. That should take a half a minute or so. Now what I'm going to have to do, because the image is an install image we have for DOS 5, is I'm going to have to just quickly switch around GoTech to be drive A. And we'll just turn it off right now so I can do that. And it should be able to boot right into the install. It's going to take a little while, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so we're at release 625. It's not checking for the second drive, and now we're booting off the GoTech. Of course, you can't hear anything because the GoTech's all electronic, but judging by the screen on the GoTech, it's doing all the things it should be doing. Might take a little while though. Now I changed the 256 megabyte card for a 1 gigabyte card. So, perfect. Yeah, I want to. Sure, that's fine. That's all fine too. Yeah, we want all the hard disk space for MS-DOS. This will take a while, so we'll speed up through this. Well, it took about 18 minutes. Okay, so I guess now it's just going to copy files over, and it'll tell me when I need to put in the next disk. So we'll come back again at that point. Setup is now complete. Remove any floppy disks from your drives and press enter to start MS-DOS. Okay, well, let's see if that works. There we go. DOS shell. All right. One forgets how slow these computers really were. And I guess having DOS 5 in there doesn't really help a lot. Let's do a installed hardware report. Yeah, we got 640K. Well, we were giving up 1K for the XD IDE drive, so we got 639K. And we got VGA card, 2 drives, a 977 megabyte hard drive. Perfect. All right. That's it, folks. Thanks for joining me. And if you like this at all, please give me a like. It really helps if you leave a comment. It could be anything. Just wave your hand and say hi. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot for coming along. Bye.